All right. Thank you, everyone, for being on our call today. We are so excited to have you guys, and I appreciate each of you taking time out of your busy schedules. Some of you are working moms, and some of you are stay-at-home moms, but I want you guys each to know that we appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us, to invest in your business, because it is so, so important. So I want each of you to know that we appreciate it. Magali is our guest, and we've known each other probably for several years now, probably 4 or 5 years now, but she is a rock star. She's an Africa earner. Amazing, amazing. And she's been a Scentsy girl for 7 years?
7 years on Saturday.
Oh, happy anniversary. Yes, yes. And she is a superstar director. And so, and see, you've had others, you share, I'll let you share. I know that for sure about you, those two things. 7 years and an African top 100 incentive earner.
Yes, yes. So this is the first recording that I actually do for anybody. So I have like, yes, it is. Like nobody's ever asked me. So thank you for asking me.
Oh, well, it's our honor to have you.
Thank you. So yeah, so I've been with Scentsy for 7 years, and I just got done doing a recording in Spanish. So it's like, I'm going to try to like transition. I'm going to take my glasses off because I can't, that glare like annoys me. So I'm going to try to like, how much time do we have?
We have about 30 minutes.
Perfect. Okay. And all for me?
All for you. We are here to soak it in and learn.
Yay!
We
love
want
it.
to know how
I love to talk. That's my problem. Like right now they're like, you have 15, 20 minutes. And I was like, I need 45. Yeah, that's not going to work for me. I need more time. Okay. So real quick. So 7 years. When I started Scentsy, I owned 2 businesses. I had a 3 and a 4-year-old. I worked for the university. Like I was super busy. I joined because honestly, the lady was a little persistent, kind of, sort of, not much, but she was like, you should join. And, you know, you can sell it at your business and all this stuff. Right. And I was like, why not? Okay. Later I learned we cannot sell at our business. Right.
Right.
So yeah, disclaimer, you cannot sell at your business. You can have a little display, but you can't sell there. But she told me I could sell there, and I was like, why not? Just do it. So I did. I remember getting my kit and like just putting it aside because I didn't know, like it wasn't something that I was, I hate to say that, but I wasn't excited about it because I had so much going on. So I kind of put it aside. I didn't read my consultant guide. I didn't like nothing. So I didn't earn the shooting star because I didn't even know it existed. I missed it by like $5. I had 495. Yeah. And I was like, later I learned, right? But I had no idea. I earned Sensational Start Level 2. The only reason I knew is because I got like something in the mail and I got my certificate and I got a little trophy thingy. And I was like, what was that for? I had no idea. What happened was the lady that I had joined under quit, and that was it. I had no upline support. I love my superstar director, but you know, when you're starting out, reality is that we are afraid to contact our superstar directors. Like I was like, I will never call her. Like, no, I have to find help somewhere else, right? Like she's just too much. I can't call her. And I never did. And because of the group size that she had, she never contacted me. And I don't blame her for that. You know, when you have 20, 30,000 people in your group, you're not going to call everybody. So I was alone. I was clueless. I didn't know what I was doing. And little by little, my group started growing and everything. It was nice, right? Like we got that growth. And then all of a sudden, my group didn't start going very well. Very important. I didn't sponsor until I was 9 months into the business. And the only reason that I sponsored was because my babysitter told me, she's like, hey, I want to sell Scentsy. And I was like, you want to what? And she's like, I want to sell Scentsy. And I was like, why? Why do you want to do that? Just buy from me. And she's like, yeah, but I really want to join. And I was like, I don't know how. Clueless. Oh my God. Like now I think back and I'm like, what was I thinking? I kid you not. So that day, like she signed up, we figured it out. The next day, my neighbor came over and she's like, hey, I want to sell that. And I was like, why? No, buy from me. I was like, no, don't join. She joined and I was like, oh, now I have 2 people. I don't know what to do. Clueless. Anyway, long story short, I think it was about a year. I don't even know. I'm sorry I didn't do my math, but I think it was about a year and a half into it, I hit director. The only reason I hit director was because my sister-in-law decided to join and she like took off, boom, and everybody started joining and everybody started buying. I think there was like 12, 13 in our team and I hit director because she hit director. Clueless. We still didn't even know what we were doing because we had nothing, right? Mm-hmm. Then started trickling and she decided she wasn't going to do it anymore. And that's kind of where I hit my pivotal point. And my husband's like, okay, you spend way too much doing Scentsy. Your paycheck is not anything near what you could be making in these other businesses. I think it's time you quit. And that was really hard for me, really hard. But I agreed with him. I had to let it go. So I had already purchased my tickets to go to Reunion to say bye to my friends. I had like 4 friends. I didn't have many friends in Scentsy. I had met 2 of them at incentive trips that I had earned incentive trips, and I was going to quit. Like, hello. And I was just going to go say bye, the whole thing. Well, anyway, they didn't let me quit, number 1. Number 2, that's when they introduced Scentsy in Mexico. Now, everybody thinks that my success is in part or thanks to Mexico, and yes, it is. But that just happened, like just about a year and a half ago. And, this was 4 years ago. What ended up happening is, number 1, super important, I found my why at Reunion. Like, if you don't have a defined why that is like super, super strong, that actually you wake up in the morning and you like see it posted on your computer, on your wall. I mean, I don't know, like you can see I have stuff on my wall, like all over, Post-it notes everywhere. Cause I like to look at things every single like day. Cause it's my reminder, right? I found my why and I decided to stay. I went to Mexico, and I know these because I just did that training. The first day or the first month in Mexico, I sponsored 7. The first 4 months, we only sponsored 10. The next year, we sponsored 10. So in a year and a half, we really only sponsored, 20 people. But what happened was I was motivated and I was like back on fire. So that's where like I thought, okay, my team does what they see me doing. Sorry, my dog gets excited when the doorbell rings. Okay. Simon. Yeah, that's the dog. Simon. So that is the number 1 thing that I want to say to you guys. Like, your teams, if you guys have recruits, your teams are going to follow the leader. Like, whatever you do, they do. If you start sponsoring, they're going to start sponsoring. If you start doing home parties, they're going to start doing home parties. If you start participating in events, they're going to do it. Whatever you do, they do. So if your focus, if your mission is to grow your team, you want to make sure that you reiterate that to your team on a daily basis. You show them what you're doing. You give them tips. You give them ideas on a daily basis. Consistency. If you sponsor someone, make a big deal about it on your team page, because then they're going to be like, oh, she makes a big deal every time she sponsors somebody. Maybe if I sponsor somebody, she's going to make a big deal. And you do, right? People love to get recognized. So you have to do that. One of the things that I learned, because I did a sponsoring, and if you guys ever have any questions, please like interrupt me, because I'm just going to talk. one of the things that I learned, I did a sponsoring topic at Reunion, and I did a little bit of research, and I learned that the average, what was it? Okay, a direct seller's, okay, what? I'm trying to remember. A successful direct seller, okay, so like us, if we consider ourselves to be successful, right? We sponsor on average 2 consultants a month. So if you sponsor 2 consultants a month, you're average to a successful direct seller. So when I did my math, right, of when I started till today, my average was 2.2. I'm average. I'm not anything spectacular. I don't like, yes, I have, and then I have bad month. Last month, 0. Being honest, I sponsored 0 last month, but I've sponsored 19 in a month.
Wow.
So we just have to be truthful to ourselves. And last month I was on vacation. I mean, I've been gone. I think my husband did the math because husbands do that. I think by now it's probably like 80 days. So the last 80 days, I've probably been home about 20.
Wow.
I've been gone, and that's one of the beauties, right, of having this kind of business. Like, you can work from anywhere, you can take vacations with your families, you can do all that. So I have to.
Consistency, though, being consistent. Yes.
Consistency is the key. That is my number. Well, I have like 7 skills that I always like drill into my team. Consistency is one of them. I'm not telling you that you have to work your business, 5-6 hours a day. You don't have to work your business 3 hours a day, but you do have to work your business 30 minutes every single day.
Right.
Because what happens when you don't? Tomorrow, it's going to be easier for you not to work, right? You didn't do it the day before. And then the next day, it's going to be even easier for you not to work. It's like when you're on a diet. If you go on a diet and you actually have a calendar, because this is what we're doing right now for my husband, because he's on a diet. If you have a calendar, and for every day that he doesn't cheat, I make a big deal about it. I go and I put like a little smiley face card, and I'm so proud of you. Guess what? He won't cheat. But if you don't do that, then he loses consistency because, he doesn't see it. He's like, oh, I'm going to cheat. Nobody's going to notice. It's like, oh, yeah, I am, because it's going to go on the calendar that you cheated. Right? So you have to be consistent every day, 30 minutes. That's all we ask. Consistency is the key. Now, you probably want me to share some tips with you guys, right? Real quick before I share the tips, everybody always asks me, and I think this is part of my presentation. I don't know when I did this one. No, I did this one for the ahas. If you haven't seen that discovery or aha moment, this is that presentation that I did. So I'm not going to redo it because you can go see it. But basically, I talk about 7 skills that I practice on a daily basis. I don't have them in front of me. Let me see if I can get them real quick. But I practice 7 skills on a daily basis. And this is what helps me. Where are they? Okay, sorry. I like I said, I was doing the other one, and then I jumped into this one. But okay, I know that I just talked about them right now. So number 1 is very simple. Number 1 is you have to be passionate about what you do, right? You have to know your why, be passionate about it, and just that is your focus all the time. Number 2, you have to have an accountability partner. I have 2 or 3 little chats and groups that are with different consultants. Some are superstar directors, some are star directors, some is my team. So, they're all different groups. I talk to my group on a daily basis. At least we check in with each other, what's happening. That helps me keep me motivated. And honestly, at the end of the day, I would never quit because I never want to not be their friends again. And I know I would be their friends, but I wouldn't talk to them every day. Number 3 is being dedicated, like I talked earlier. If you're dedicated and you're leading by example, then your team's going to do what you're doing. Number 4 is being determined. You have to be determined to be successful. If you wake up in the morning you have to know what you're going to do. You have to have your systems in place. You have to have your follow-up, your recognition, all that stuff. That's really, really important. Being consistent. What you do for one consultant, you have to do it for everybody else. So make sure that it's a scalable system. Number 6, be focused. I see so many consultants trying to do a little bit of everything, and that's where I get like in trouble with some consultants, because they're like, you have to do that. And I'm like, well, for me, I think that it's more beneficial if you're focused on one thing, one platform for social media, for example, or one something, and you do it 100% right. Being consistent, creating those relationships with every single like, every single post, every single comment. If you're focused, then that helps. And then being afraid to fail. Like, I am deadly afraid to fail. I don't want to fail. I don't want to fail for my family, for my husband. I need to prove my parents right. You know, they're like, why are you not working a corporate job? You have a master's degree. You know, you have all this experience in the corporate world. You could be making over $100,000. Why are you doing Scentsy when you're not even making a quarter of that? And I'm like, because that's what I like to do. So I'm so afraid of failing that I have to make this successful. So those are like my 7 skills that I kind of live by every single day. Now, tips on sponsoring. Number 1, you have to know your why. We talked about that, right? It's going to help you through the tough months. When you feel like you want to quit and you remember your why, then you're going to think twice about it. Your why changes. You guys know that, right? I started as a why not. And then I was like, oh, I could pay for my gas every month. And then I was like, oh, I could pay for this. And it was all money, right? It was all money. I can pay for this. I can pay for that. I can pay for this. And that for me was not strong enough. It's going to be strong enough for a lot of people, but for me, that was not strong enough. And at Reunion, that's when I realized it's not about me. It's about having this opportunity to share with so many people that don't have this opportunity, and to be able to help them, you know, enrich their lives, to give them financial freedom, all that stuff. So now I see that like all the time, right? Like with Mexico, I have that opportunity to change lives on a daily basis. In the United States too, don't get me wrong. But because I'm Mexican, I know how little opportunity they have. And I knew what a huge opportunity I was going to be able to offer them. So knowing your why, that's huge. Number 2 is you have to focus on gaining new contacts every month. When you gain a new contact, you know, it could be somebody that wants to buy from you. It could be somebody that wants to have a party for you, or it could be somebody that wants to join your team. But you have to be focused on gaining new customers every month. Sometimes we set our goals and we're like, I'm going to sponsor 3 this month. I'm going to sell $1,000 and I'm going to have 3 parties. And we forget to put a goal of, okay, well, wait a minute. How many new contacts are you going to make this month? How many new people are you going to meet this month, right? Like, that's a goal that sometimes we don't focus on. So make it a daily goal. You know what? I'm going to share Scentsy with 3 people that I've never shared it with before, every single day. And then, like, if you stay home, then find a way on social media to share Scentsy with 3 people that you've never shared it before, or 5 people or 10 people or whatever. But we have to focus on getting new contacts every single day. Again, which is something that we tend to forget. And by doing that, make sure that you're prepared, right? You're prepared with tools like your samples, you're prepared with catalogs, you're prepared with everything. But you're also prepared with the business. Like, you know, the compensation plan, you know, the benefits for them to join, you know, the top 10 reasons, right? We have that little sheet. Like, know those top 10 reasons. And if they ask you, well, why should I join? List the reasons why they should join. Make it personal. Like, if you can share with them how Scentsy has enriched your life, right? Then they might it might click in their head, oh, well, maybe Scentsy can enrich my life this way as well. But always make it about them. You never want it to seem like you're sponsoring them for your own benefit. Because yes, sometimes it is, especially during incentive time, like we want everybody to join our team. But it's important to help them realize that what you're offering them is actually going to be a huge blessing for them, not just for you. And then shift your mindset. Like me at the beginning, right? When somebody was like, I want to join your team. I was like, no, I don't want to lose my customers. Shift your mindset. When we first start as consultants, and I think that I've talked to a lot of people and they're like, yeah, you're right. Like this happened to me too. So this is just based on, a survey that I did. When you start, you want to sell. And why? Because you see instant gratification, right? You get your paycheck at the end of the month and you're like, my time, my dedication, what I've been doing has value to it. I see it. It's in paper, right? But we have to remember that if we can shift our mindset and think, okay, I may not see anything from this person this month or next month or the next month. What if eventually, like, this person takes off and guess what? She is going to be your income for the future, right? That's really hard to do as a new consultant. So that is one of the things that I try to tell all of my new people. Yes, sell. But if you always have to present the opportunity to everybody. I never let a customer buy something from me until I have offered them the opportunity. Because what's going to happen? Two things. One, you've planted the opportunity in their head, right? Like now they know, I could join Scentsy and I could make a little extra money, or I could get my products at a discount or whatever. So you've planted the seed in their head. And two, if it's absolutely not for them, they're still going to buy from you. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? I don't want the bars anymore. No, they're still going to want the bars. So always present the opportunity, always. And then if they say no, ask for a referral. Once they give it to you, then let them buy the product. But just don't be an order taker. Like that's not our job. We're not here to like be order takers. So always present the opportunity before you take the sale.
How would you present the opportunity? For what would you say?
Example, like if I'm at an event and somebody comes to my booth and especially if you hear those keywords, right? Oh, I love Scentsy. Oh, I have it everywhere. Oh, my friends have it. Oh, my friend just had a party. My mom loves it, whatever. All those keywords, especially if you hear those. But even if you don't, let's say they want to buy a 6-pack of bars. I go straight to the point. Have you ever thought of joining? What do you mean? Well, have you ever thought of being a consultant and do what you do? Not necessarily. I mean, you can go and do events. A lot of consultants do events, but it's not something that you have to do. Well, what do I have to do? Have those parties? I don't like to have parties at home. Well, there's different ways of having parties. Like if you're not a party person, where you have to go to people's houses, have you ever, do you invite people to your house? Well, yeah. Well, then you can invite people to your house. You can do catalog parties. You can do online parties. Like there's, so many things. So it kind of depends. Like you have to read them, right? Because everybody is going to have an excuse. Everybody. And you have to always be prepared with the excuse bust that you're not, you know what I mean? Like
crazy. I think we used to crazy though, being married to Randy, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see that you're trying to. I don't mind it.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Okay. She's working her Scentsy business.
All right, I'm gonna do this.
Hold on. There we go.
No, you're fine. So that's kind of how I would do it. I mean, I just go straight to the point and just be like, have you ever thought of doing what I do?
Mm-hmm. So our group this month is doing the Go for No challenge.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I contacted at least 10 people today to ask them, and I got 3 maybes.
You see?
How do I like close the deal here?
Okay, so they said maybe. Did they? Did you ask them what their deciding factor would be? Like, why a maybe? Like, what are you thinking? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like,
because I thought about, like, you know, I want to ask, what is holding you back? You know,
I always ask that. Like, what is holding you back? Like, what are you afraid of? Because that's most of the time, I think that somebody doesn't join because they're afraid.
That's what
They're afraid of, you know,
a failing.
Failing, of course. Like, that's my number one. I hate failing. They're afraid of failure. They're afraid of not knowing what to do. They're afraid that they might spend $99 and never get anything out of it. So I would always probably follow up with that question, like, what is holding you back? Like, why don't you want to take it? Because then, you know, depending on their answer, you're going to obviously share with them. But like, they might say, well, I just moved and I don't know anybody. Well, this is a great way to know people, right? You can have an open house, invite your neighbors, or they might say, well, I don't have any money right now. Do you have any clothes that you can sell? I do this all the time. I'm like, do you have any clothes that you can sell? Any shoes? What about extra bikes? When was the last time you rode your bike? Why don't you just sell your bike? You know, like, if they don't have any money, you can sell stuff that you have laying around and find $100.
Right.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I do that all the time, especially with the Mexico girls. I'm like, how much stuff do you have in your house? Go sell it. Because you can find the money. Like, everybody has $100.
Well, you can sell stuff on garage sale sites and get $100.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, when they say I don't have money, that's not an excuse. Sorry. You can find money. If they say I don't have time and I just don't know how I'm going to handle it all, talk to them about, you know, you only have to place an order once every 3 months. You can do catalog parties. You can take your testers to work, maybe give them to your mom. She can be your assistant. Give them to your sister. She can be your assistant. Like, getting people to help them sell, you know? So when they give you that hesitation or that excuse, you kind of have to formulate it. Always, like, there's always going to be an excuse, but if you find, there's always positives to the negatives. Does that make sense? So it's just, I wish that, you know, I don't know if there is a document, and if there's not, maybe we should make one, you know, all the excuses that they could possibly give you, and all the good things that, or all the negatives that they can tell you, and then all the positives that you can say.
Right.
Like a cheat sheet. Like, if they say this, you can say this. If they say this,
that would be good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like an overcoming the challenge sheet.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just quick responses to excuses or something.
Right.
But yeah, so I would ask them, you know, what is it? And believe me, I have 3. Wait, I have 2. Well, no, I have a lot, but the ones that I can think, I have 2 that have been telling me, I'm going to join tomorrow. And I'm like, hey, are you going to join today? What's happening? What's going on? And then they don't respond. So don't think, oh, they're not responding. Just don't give up. I follow up every single week. And sometimes I start my message, hey, I know that you probably might be annoyed by me by now, but honestly, this is my job. And if I wasn't doing my job, then I wouldn't serve you right. So if you don't want me to ask you about why you're not joining my team anymore, then you have to tell me.
Yeah.
And nobody has ever told me, oh, stop harassing me, or don't ask me anymore.
I don't stop with all of my people that were at one time interested. I don't stop until they tell me to stop. And I don't bug them. I don't bug them all the time, you know, but
at least once every 2 weeks, right? Because you want to give them, like, hey, this is the promotion this month, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe, like, on the 20th of the month or something, just be like, hey, you have 10 more days just in case you want, you know. But yeah, I tell them, and sometimes I'm honest. I'm like, hey, if you want me to stop asking you, you have to tell me that you want me to stop asking you. Right. If not, I'm just doing my job. You told me you were interested, and I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I have a list of like 10 or 15 that I've been hounding for months, even a year. And I just do it every month, you know?
Yeah.
Eventually they'll say yes.
Exactly.
Right.
Do you find that you're mostly leaving messages or
I text
with them, and it's just kind of communicating that way right now?
I text a lot.
Okay.
I text a lot, and because you know what, honestly, like I hate to say this, I don't know about you. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I have 4 messages on my phone from July 17, July 20, July 22nd, and on Tuesday I haven't even heard them. Like I don't listen to my messages. I mean, like I see who sent me the message, and because it's really not important to me, I don't listen to it. So when you do like a text voice message, you guys know how to do that. Like you just get text and you do the voice. People listen to those. I listen to them because you're already in your text and you're just reading it and you just kind of click it.
So you do voice text to these people that are possibly interested?
I do.
And what do you say?
I'm just like, hey, it's Magali, just following up with you. Last time we talked, you told me that you were interested in joining. You said that you were going to actually join on Tuesday the 17th. Guess what? Today's the 18th. What happened? Call me back. Let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think the voice text is good because they hear
the enthusiasm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And they know that you're excited. Sometimes when you text, like people read it and it either, not that it gets misunderstood, but you're right. Like you can't convey that emotion.
Right.
Like for the Mexico girls that I know that they want to join, and I have them on my WhatsApp because that's like the form of communication that we use in Mexico. I even do video messages and they see my face like, hey, what's going on? I'm just checking in on you. Da, 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 da. And you know, they're like, oh my God, you're so like bubbly. I'm like, yeah. But the more that you can convey that enthusiasm, the better. Because sometimes, I mean, I've had people join. The only reason I joined is because like, you're so like outgoing. I want to be like you. I'm like, well, that doesn't, you know, that comes naturally. It's going to be hard for you to like become outgoing and bubbly, but you can. But I've had a couple of people tell me that like, they're just, you know, very shy and introverts and stuff. And they're like, I just want to be like you. I'm like, okay, let's do this. We can do it. We can do it.
Right.
Okay. So where do I find recruits? Events. Okay. I do a lot of events. So make sure you have your signage. Make sure that you look for those keywords that I talked about, right? And then sell the business first before you sell the product. Like that's key. Like you have to do that. Parties, we all know that. Flip the host. Make sure that you have purposeful games, and there's purposeful recruiting games, right? Like if you do the one with the cards and you play the cards, like the cards are from Disney, for example, since Disney's our next reunion. You can do the cards with that, the destination. You can do, like right now, maybe you can do the game where you put a plate on your hat and you make them draw the boat and put the you know what I mean, the life vest and the island and all that, since we're going on a cruise. So just play the purposeful games that will get you talking about joining. Social media, that's huge. You have to find, and this is like I said earlier, like where I struggle with other consultants because they're like, you have to do everything. I'm like, no, I don't do Pinterest. I really don't do YouTube. I finally got convinced I need to be better on my Instagram because I need to at least try to do maybe 2 platforms. I'm good at Facebook. But I don't do all that stuff. I have my personal page. I don't have a VIP page. I have 2 business pages that I rarely post in. I'm trying to get better at that. But when you find your platform, and that's what I was saying earlier, like try to be good at it. Comment on the posts, acknowledge that you read them or respond back. You know, if somebody asks you a question, respond back. Or if somebody says, oh, I really like that, you know, whatever, where did you get your flower pot? Even if it's not Scentsy related, respond. Like you want to build those relationships. have your opportunity goggles on every day. Like, scroll your newsfeed. If you are friends with a lot of Scentsy people, unfollow them. I hate to say that, and I hope I don't offend people, but I honestly am not going to get any business from looking at other Scentsy consultants' posts.
Amen.
Yeah.
I am going to get business by seeing my friends' posts. So I don't mind, having all these Scentsy friends. That's fine. But don't take offense if I never comment on your stuff because I unfollowed you. Because I want to see what my customers are doing and what my friends are doing, because they are the ones that are going to generate business for me.
Yep.
So be on the lookout. I'm stuck in traffic. I hate my boss. I wish I didn't have to, leave my kids at the daycare. I hate having a 40-hour-a-week job. All those keywords, and then, offer them the opportunity. Remain positive. Please don't. Like, the whole negativity on Facebook is not good for anybody. So just be positive. Facebook Lives are really good. I am still not good at that. I get paranoid. This is ridiculous. You know what paranoids me about Facebook Lives? That my high school friends are going to see it and laugh at me. High school friends, like, how that, right?
Yeah, right.
But that's what paranoids me, because that is like all my friends. Like, I'm either friends with Scentsy people or my high school friends, or like a few people from my 20s to my 40s. Like, I don't have.
We are almost out of time. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes. I was wondering if somewhere we can comment under where the recording will be, the 7 skills that you were talking about that you try to practice daily.
Mm-hmm. I can send them to Martha and she can post them.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No. All righty. Thank you so much.
Yes. Sorry. I told you I love to talk. I can talk.
Amazing.
Your customers.
Awesome.
Don't be afraid to convert your customers. That's number 1. Don't be afraid to convert your customers.
Yes.
Your friends, your neighbors. My last 3 recruits have been my neighbors. So now there's 4 people in my neighborhood that sell Scentsy.
Yes. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it so much.
Yes, thank you so very much.
You're welcome, Stacy. Bye.
Bye.